Here we are. Had my first real physical therapy today. I had the home PT before, but I went to PT today. And because I guess I'm generally healthier than the people that come in there. I think they thought I was in better shape than I was. I think they probably worked me out a little too hard.
What does generally healthier mean?
Well, like, you go to PT, it's not like a bunch of like athletes, I guess, is what I would say. It's a lot of old people. It's a lot of out of shape people, you know. There's a lot of the people that go to PT aren't there to like, you see a lot of people, do you know what the TENS machine is? Like that thing that sends like vibrations through your body. It makes your like a sore muscle feel good. They're there to like get like worked on or whatever. So I think, you know, when they say how active are you, and I'm like, I exercise every day. Like they want to like put me through the fucking ringer. Put me through the ringer, guys.
The ringer, the ringer's top 100.
Yes. Yeah. So they sat me down and I'm like, why is Maxey 51? Immediately. Yeah. The arguing started right away.
Yeah. I see how that would be stressful on your hip.
Would you guys rather, CJ or Mike, would you rather be able to dunk effortlessly or do sick guitar solos on command?
Which one do you fucking think, Spike?
Well, I don't know.
Between the two of them, for me, a guy you've been doing a podcast with for over a decade.
I'm asking. Just making sure.
Which one do you think?
I think you would rather dunk effortlessly.
I think that's probably safely correct.
CJ?
Which I think is very silly. I think the guitar solo option is the much better option. What are you going to do with dunking? Like
dunk!
Yeah. That's fun to do every now and then when you're on a court, but think of the things that you could parlay being able to do crazy guitar solos into.
What am I going to do with crazy guitar solos?
Play fucking bars, join a cover band, do some.
Oh, I get to join a cover band?
That's right.
That'd be sick, dude.
Yeah.
Well, it's better than playing pickup in an empty gym.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it absolutely isn't. I would rather be able to dunk playing pickup than be in a fucking cover band at fucking hometown bar.
You can't dunk right now?
No.
Are you kidding? How could you can't dunk? No offense, but I mean,
No, you got a athletic build.
Yeah, but what are you? You're 5'9"?
5'11".
You're not 5'11".
I'm
Yeah.
5'11". I slouch, but I'm 5'11".
You're not 5'11".
I'm 5'5". I'm 5'11".
I'm
I haven't
5'10"
measured.
and you're
I haven't measured myself a million times.
You're 5. I'm 5'10", and you're shorter than me.
I'm 5'11". I'm telling you I'm 5'11". I'm not telling you how tall you are. I'm telling you I'm 5'11".
We got to do some measuring, measuring.
We've done that.
I remember live pod. I would say Mike is 5'11".
Well, then that makes me 6 feet.
Then you're 6 feet.
I'm not 6 feet. All right.
I have no opinion about your size. I'm telling you what my size is. And I play taller than that, but I still can't dunk. I've never done. I can graze rim.
Keep the filter in the whole pod, I think, this time. I think it's a good filter. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook by using promo code RTRS. Brought to you by Big Barker Therapeutic Dog Beds. Get yours at bigbarker.com/Ricky. And Kinetic Skateboarding. Get 9.1% off your first order with promo code Dave Silver. On the show today, the Sixers follow up an absolutely awesome win against the Lakers with just a fucking pathetic and beadless, forgettable piece of shit loss against the Pelicans.
Even Steven.
Oh, boy, even is right. A listener questions Mike's commitment to stats. Go Starhunting in Los Angeles. I'll see if Mike and CJ want to see my hip x-ray. And finally, CJ, do you want to see it? The listeners want to see it? It's pretty sick. And also, we have some listener-suggested names for Dan Olinger's new column. I did mention Kinetic Skateboarding, so it is holiday season, Christmas, Hanukkah, buy holiday gifts. Kinetic has so many specials from now all the way through the holidays. I recommend following them on Instagram at Kinetic Skateboarding, on Twitter at Kinetic Skate, and go to the website kineticskateboarding.com. Just great spot for gifts, man. Hook somebody up. What great gift would it be to get like a tee, a hoodie, and a skull cap for the holidays? It'd be an awesome gift from Kinetic. Go there. Go to kineticskateboarding.com. Use promo code Dave Silver for 9.1% off your first order. Without any further ado, Amos and the chef.
We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We was right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We were right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. Say the name.
Forever.
Welcome to the Rights Ricky Sanchez podcast. I'm Spike Eskin, along with a guy who's never going to be able to do sick guitar solos at your local dive bar. That is one Mike Levin.
No, Alyssa's stepdad is a really good. He's a musician. He can play all sorts of shit, and so he shows me stuff sometimes and tried to show me like handle. I got nothing. I have no guitar, anything whatsoever. I don't have the hands for it. Siege's popping in early. There's an early pop in from Siege.
Another crucial point is that if you are a above average height, it's going to take you a lot shorter period of time to train to be able to dunk than it would be to train to become an expert guitar soloist.
He asked what I would rather do, what I'd rather have.
CJ,
I'd rather be able to dunk.
By the way, I've asked CJ to come onto the pod before, and he'll shake his head and say no. He just launched himself into the first 10 seconds of it to argue.
That's a guy that thought that that Mountjoy had too long of a fucking encore, hour and a half encore for Siege. Not enough sick guitar riffs, probably. That's it.
I have to be honest with you. I don't even want to talk about the fucking Pelicans game. I don't even know what to tell you. But it was terrible. We said the same thing the last time Embiid doesn't play. The team looks like absolute dog shit. It looks like it goes from a roster. It looks like it has too many players to a roster. It doesn't look like it has any players at all.
Well, so
Joel Embiid deserves the MVP again. That's my
for sure. So there's a lot of things you could say about this. One is that Embiid is excellent, and without him. Another reason to get that third star, which I'm like on the fence about, like who becomes available. Could you get him in free agency for nothing? All that stuff. But like this season, if you want a hope, they are going just nowhere in the playoffs without Joel. Wow. If Joel misses a game, last year it was at least like hopefully Harden can get hot from three. This year,
what do you think? I have an idea. Somebody that's available and actually you don't even have to trade anything for him. You could just pick him up off the free agency market. Is that if you just on games that Embiid doesn't play, you let Doc Rivers coach?
Oh, possible.
He was pretty good when Embiid wasn't playing.
That's the only time he was.
Teams were pretty good.
The only time he was.
Yeah.
So that's not argument for that. I thought Maxey still. It's fun to see him go we're still in the glow of Maxey being a number one-ish, number two option. Tonight, obviously, number one. And to take 25 shots and get 33 points out of it. He turned the ball over a ton. I think this is a tough matchup for him in the same way that Boston is, because the Pelicans have a ton of tough length, physical defense with also speed to keep up with him. Dyson Daniels, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy when he's healthy, Zion on the weak side, whatever. It's a tough matchup for him, and I'm glad. I like seeing him struggle through this kind of stuff. But man, some of the offensive finishes he had was just, and he turned the ball over a lot because he had 4 turnovers, only 3 assists. It was definitely like a tough go for him. But then he got hot later on in the third and fourth quarter, and some crazy tough finishes for him. It is like an array of scoops with speed and finesse with either hand. Obviously, better going to his right, but he's really starting to work his body to get those foul calls in that middle area. He got a bump off of Zion after blow by him and hit him with the floater. Really good body control there. Had a really 2 back-to-back plays. Had a long scoop, in through track, blow by and then scoop with touch plus an up and under. That was really gorgeous. That I don't think even hit the backboard, which is really tough on an up and under crazy play. There was one play where Cody Zeller thought he blocked it and just whiffed because Maxey's so fast. Seemed very frustrated by that. It's just he just has so many ways to do it so fast and get it up with touch and softly that it's a surprise when he doesn't make those shots because of how he's just, on the Pelicans broadcast they just called him a blur, and it's just he's he's so hard to cover there, even if he's still like working his way through finding that like floor game in the mid range.
He does seem like he's getting the hang of how to get foul calls too, where the first few years in the league he didn't at all, but it's a skill. Like getting fouled is a skill, and it seems like he's picking that up as well. You did mention turnovers. I still haven't looked at the box score for this game, but I am convinced Tobias Harris had double-digit turnovers. He had like 10 turnovers. 5.
Some really atrocious passes from Tobias. Not a good Tobias game. He started
awful.
He started playing a little bit better towards the end, and got into a little bit of a rhythm, but not a good Tobias game from our friend. They started Marcus Morris again.
Yeah.
I understand not starting B-ball. That's fine. That is fine.
Why was Mo Bamba the first center off the bench?
I don't know. Give him a shot. He was fine. Mo Bamba was fine. They were a -17 in Marcus Morris's 17 minutes. They were a +10 in the 31 other minutes in the game.
It wasn't Marcus Morris's fault.
It wasn't his help. He was not successfully doing anything. He had a step back on the first play.
Yeah, but
he took a step back
mostly
3.
Okay, he played pretty okay against the Lakers. He played pretty okay in the game before that. Like he is
just like he is. This is true. This is not me being a just hate everything he does guy. He is still a very good shooter. He's still a very good shooter, competent shooter from like all areas, mid range and out.
Shot maker. I like saying that.
Shot maker, sure. And he had a nice offensive rebound tonight where he was physical. I like that. There's things that he does that he does well. He's obviously better than Montrezl Harrell on the court, for sure. But he is the guy on the team that I dislike this year, and he is the guy on the team that if he's covering anyone on the other team, they are going to hit a shot. It doesn't matter who it is or what part of the court they are on. They are shooting 100% with Marcus Morris covering them. He did have a nice block on Herb Jones in this game. I'll give him credit for it. But he's just like, he's so bad on defense. He's so bad. He's always in the wrong place, and he's so slow. And I just don't see. It feels like Nick Nurse is playing a trick on us, and I really don't understand it. It obviously doesn't matter to me who really starts, but like you're playing against Jonas Valanciunas, like he's going to get shoved into a locker and not present any rim protection when Zion's coming at the rim. And that's why they went to Mo Bamba, I think, because they wanted to go like, okay, B-Ball Paul's coming in like 6 minutes into the game, fine. So let's give him a shot. And I thought Bamba played okay. I thought he played okay. He's not physical enough at his size. He's not quick enough at his size, and he's not a good enough shooter at his size to be like a good player. One of those things has to not be the case, but he had a couple nice blocks. He's just fucking big, man, and it's helpful to have a guy there for putback dunks if, just from at his size. And he got blocked by Brandon Ingram sort of late, and it's like, what are you doing on that play? Why are you holding the ball that low when you're fucking as big as you are, allowing a wing?
8 feet tall. You got a wingspan of 47 feet. You should be running around his arms should never come. His hand should never be below his shoulders. The entire game.
I would like that. I'd like to see that.
When he plays defense, when he plays offense, there's
great.
Pass it up here. You're taller than almost everybody else.
Yeah, that was bad.
What a waste of time.
There's a level of waste of time that Mo Bamba is, because it feels like he's wasting his natural gifts. He just needs to be a better shooter, and he needs to be a little bit more physical, because he's just not fast enough on an NBA court. There's a little bit of like Boban there, where you're like, you do some stuff well, but like not enough to make up for the stuff that you're not that good at.
Boban is better than Mo Bamba.
Bamba's a better shot blocker. Boban has better touch for sure. So
remember when Boban was fucking rocking all those threes for us back in the day? Remember
I don't know how many threes Boban rocked.
No, there was a stretch where he was fucking rocking threes. Anyone who's listening to this,
I'm not saying he hit none, but I don't recall any stretch of threes being rocked by Boban.
Nah. He was rocking threes.
Find me the time that happened, and I will say I'm
CJ,
wrong.
go investigate.
It was just a sloppy, especially in the first half, just like so sloppy. The Pelicans scored 39 points in the first quarter. Just so many turnovers. Obviously, we said Tobias, we said Maxey.
This game is dumb.
Some bad passes. Without Embiid there, like there's just not enough. You can't create advantages unless it's Maxey just blowing by somebody. And And defensively, like, they just overhelp too much. They just overhelp too much, like, all the time. And it's not even like it's that middle the middle help that doesn't like actually do anything. It's just sort of players almost in a trance, just like kind of watching the ball and walking to it. And like Zion drove one time to his left side. Maxey is covering someone on the foul line, on the opposite foul line extended. And he just sort of like meanders into the paint, and then Zion drives through and kicks it out to CJ McCollum, and Maxey goes, oh, fuck, and has to cut back out to CJ, 12 feet or whatever, after he was like pointlessly just in the lane, not really doing anything. He wasn't tagging a big, whatever it is. And it's just, there needs to be much more discipline. And I know it's a regular season game and Embiid's not in this. It's just like more of a broad picture, especially as we go towards the playoffs. But I just like, there needs to be more discipline in staying with your guy, even when the ball is not there, because they always seem surprised when a simple pass can get to their guy. They're like, I didn't think he could get it all the way there. And it's like, it's 15 feet, it's 20 feet. Like, they can make those passes. And it's frustrating to watch them like bang a ton of threes because our guys were just sort of like, we just wandered away and forgot that a pass could be made here. And that's just watching a game. And it's not just the Sixers, and they did this last year, obviously. I've been railing about this forever. I'm a broken record, but like, that's one of my most frustrating things, where it's like, you don't have to leave him. You don't have to leave him, and they shouldn't. And that, I think, is discipline and coaching.
CJ's notes about Boban rocking threes. Mike, I think you'll be surprised that I'm right here. He hit 2 threes in the final game of the season. He had 2 other games with 1 3 each. 4 threes total.
4 3 totals. All right, I guess 4 total in how long was he here?
He's
2
for
seasons?
a year. No, he's
One,
for
just
1
one
year.
season?
Yeah, that's a lot of fucking threes. He rocked a lot of threes.
It's fewer than B-ball right now.
How many did he shoot? CJ?
Oh, so wait, you can rock threes if they're not going in? That counts as rocking threes? I don't
Mike,
know
let me give you the DraftKings Sportsbook odds on the NBA in-season tournament, which the Sixers did not make. I want you to tell me where you're laying your units, your 10 units or whatever. Okay, the Celtics are plus 300. The Bucks are plus 340. Lakers are plus 550. Kings are plus 550. Suns are plus 650. Pelicans are plus 1,200. Pacers are plus 1,300. And the Knicks are plus 1,400.
I'm going Pacers. I'm going Pacers all day.
Okay. I have two bets for this on DraftKings Sportsbook. First of all, the Lakers are the exact kind of team to want to win the in-season tournament.
I think they all are. I think all of those teams, all 8, are teams that would want to win. Maybe not Phoenix.
It's the Celtics and the Bucks. They don't care about winning the in-season tournament.
I think they do.
LeBron knows he's not going to win. He just wants to be the first MVP of the first in-season tournament because he's trying to stack accomplishments, even though he's never going to be better than Jordan. And then my other one,
I would love, give me like a Pacers Pelicans championship in Vegas. I might go. I might just go. I might ring the bell. I'm going to ring the bell. I'm going to bring my own bell. I'm going to crash the court, and I'm going to ring it if it's a Pacers Pelicans in-season tournament championship in Vegas.
completely unrelated. Well, it is related, and that's why I feel like I gotta play this for you. But DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers this week can get $150 instantly in bonus bets just for betting $5 on basketball. Win or lose, you get an instant dub from DraftKings Sportsbook by using promo code RTRS. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code RTRS. New customers get $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on basketball. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code RTRS. The crown is yours. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Got to be 21. See show notes for details. Mike, you brought up the Pelicans and the Pacers. I think you need to actually answer for this. This is a perfect time to bring this up. 833-LickFace.
Don't love how Mike says, my Pistons, my Magic, or my Pelicans, when he's talking about young athletic teams with upside. So my basketball question, why does Mike get an unlimited number of teams? He should get one team besides the Sixers. And if that team changes, he needs to explain himself to us. My non-basketball question, Mike was asking what you all would do if Spike didn't make it through his hip surgery. Did you ever talk about a backup post plan? I don't consider myself a Spike guy or a Mike guy. I think having both of you together is what makes y'all good, like an Oreo. So you wouldn't want to have Mike by himself. Maybe CJ could do the commercials and Abby could be co-host. I don't know. It doesn't sound like Abby's a huge basketball fan, but maybe it doesn't matter as long as she keeps Mike honest. Serious note, really glad Mike got through his surgery. Now y'all are back for another season. Take care.
Mike, why do you get unlimited teams?
Because I get to. Because I get to. This is I dismiss the idea that I'm not allowed to have endless teams if I find them fun. That is the best part. That's why I like college basketball so much, is because I don't have my heart bleeding about one particular team. I just get to enjoy good players and good teams that I like. And when it comes to not the Sixers, I feel like I want to maintain that enjoyer of good ball type of stuff. And the Pelicans play good ball. Zion looked excellent tonight, and he's looked excellent for a while.
He looks heavy, man. He needs to lose weight. I'm telling you, he's too heavy.
He's a big guy, big strong guy. Nobody can stay in front of him. There was a KJ Martin. I'm glad KJ Martin got minutes, but like there was a KJ Martin time. His first play in there, he's just like, okay, I'm going to overhelp on Zion, off of Zion. Here we go. He's not going to shoot. And then the ball gets swung to him, and Zion immediately blows by him, and you just can't stay in front of that guy because he's so fast and strong. He's too big, and immediately draws a foul on one.
Okay, so Boban in 22 games attempted 10 threes for the Sixers. He only played 22 games for the Sixers, and he shot 10 threes. That is rocking threes.
I won't claim a definition of whatever you think rocking threes is, but I'll give it to you.
Okay.
Take it. Take it. Just take it.
Can we stop talking about this game? Is there anything?
Let me say a couple more things.
Okay.
There was
Christ.
I liked seeing KJ Martin get some minutes aside from that one play. I liked him just like living in the dunker spot. Had a couple nice plays.
That wasn't a basket
Absolutely
interference, by the way. That is a
beautiful
that was a
tip
bad
in.
call. Yeah.
The ref made the call from 40 feet away. Who are these people? Where do they come from? Why do they exist? How do they look their families in the eye? All that stuff. I just like watching KJ on a court because he's just so powerfully athletic, and if he can just develop a standstill catch and shoot and sort of find his place on a court, dunker spot, and then occasionally when Embiid's in there, just like be able to hit threes. Fucking, there's no reason why he shouldn't be like Shemi Ojale from three, and he's crazy athletic. Like he should be a wing rotation player for a long time somewhere, even if it's not here. I thought Covington was great tonight. 30 minutes, 4 for 4 from deep, helps when you hit all your shots. Shot it high, shot it confident. Always makes plays on the defensive end. He was a plus 11 in 30 minutes. They were a minus 21 in the 18 minutes without him. I want Nick Nurse to say like more positive things about Covington because I feel like
he doesn't like him.
I feel like he doesn't like him.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't really understand why. But I thought he was great tonight. I like a nice game from Pat Bev. 11.7 assists. The jumper has returned necessarily.
Well, I think he hurt us. I think both Pat Bev's jumper returning and Tyrese Maxey against the Lakers all of a sudden coming out aggressive, telling the coach he's going to come out aggressive after we brought up both things on the last pod, I think is proof that the team listens to the pod before games.
Super necessary for him to be hitting shots and taking those shots.
Mm-hmm.
Another couple really rough D'Anthony Melton finish attempts.
Oh boy, but he got chased down. The guy was fucking Herb Jones was fucking 75 feet behind him. He got chased down. He missed that one. And toward the end of the game, real ugly one. Real ugly.
Well, because he should have gone up strong with the one that Herb Jones blocked, and he didn't. He didn't go up for a dunk. This time he goes, okay, I'm going to go dunk it, except he's dunking it through 3 Pelicans, all of whom are very tall, and he doesn't hit rim. He's just lost back there. But hit threes, always provides energy on the defensive end on the rebounds. He had 4 steals, a block, provides great weak side rim protection. Really helpful player. I just wish he could go into his attributes, edit player, add rim awareness, offensive finishing ability, bump that up from like 36 to maybe like 68, 72. Can we adjust the 2K settings for him? I thought it was a mix of a nice b-ball Paul game.
I can't believe we're going to talk about every player.
I'm done.
On
This is not
team
it. This is
with
the last one.
fucking
This is
game.
the last
This
one.
the worst game in history.
It's the last one. We're not even at a half hour yet.
Okay.
We're not even at 20
all right.
minutes.
Okay.
Fucking CJ commandeered the podcast to talk about sick guitar riffs for 45 minutes. Never heard more of that in my life. Hey, you host a basketball podcast. You want to dunk? You want to do sick guitar riffs? Ridiculous.
I would pick sick guitar riffs.
Yes, that's clear that you would.
Yeah.
And I would pick dunking. I would dunk all over you in your little guitar riffs.
Yeah.
And I would break the guitar in half as I cram on your head.
People, the fucking ladies would be throwing their underwear at me as I'm rocking these guitar solos on stage while you're dunking alone in a gym like a fool.
Ladies are throwing underwear at sick guitar riffs.
Yes. Hello.
Remarkable. And if that's the goal, dunking does nothing for that. Only guitar.
I'm not saying dunking does something for that, but
People
I
are not
would say
attracted
sick
to
guitar, People are attracted to dunking, but sick guitar solos, I think, definitely better in that department. Ladies, give us a call.
I find sick guitar solos, especially sick guitar solos is specific, more annoying. You gotta okay, here you go. You're jamming out. Yeah, jam. Okay, jam. I'm hot for jamming. I'm jamming on your head is what I'm doing. Watch how high I can dunk.
Right.
Throw me an alley-oop, ma'am. B-Ball Paul.
Yep.
Had some beautiful passes, finished with a Kelly Oubre-esque 5 assists on the evening. One really nice high-low pass to Marcus Morris stealing underneath. I like that. Had a pretty bad doing too much type turnover late when he tried to break down Jonas Valanciunas off the dribble.
He did. He's always fighting that, by the way.
He is.
He's always, you can tell it's always in his brain. He always wants to do it.
Yeah. And I understand that. And then, but it did have a little redemption with a nice tough lefty hook. Had a really nice scoop finish. Did you see that with English?
Yes.
And one. That was very beautiful. And I just love B-Ball Paul anytime he gets to press because he's going to force a turnover. You're going to turn the ball over at some point if he's pressing you. And I like doing that. And I would love Sixers down 1 with 29 seconds left after a timeout in a late February game. I want B-Ball Paul on the court with Joel Embiid. I want it. I want him breaking a press. Here's a lineup. Down 1, we have a timeout.
Yeah.
Melton, Covington, Batum, B-Ball, Embiid.
Who the hell is scoring on that lineup?
No one.
Who's bringing the ball up the court on that lineup?
Nobody.
I
want to see it.
Fucking that. Imagine this. Can I paint a picture for you?
Paint it.
It's fucking sold out Wells Fargo Center.
Yes.
Sixers are up 1. It's Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics. There's 12 seconds left. Celtics inbound the ball against that lineup from the ceiling. Comes they lower the stage from the ceiling. There's CJ with a fucking guitar and a ham rocking a fucking solo.
Whoa.
While that team is playing defense on the Celtics. Sixers go to the finals. Come on.
Greg Popovich grabs the microphone. This is not who we are. Doing sick guitar riffs during a game. It's not legal. It's against basketball bylaws. Remarkable.
It was I love B-Ball this year. I love that B-Ball thought he was going to be this whole different thing, but I love that he reeled it in. But I love that every once in a while he shows that little polish that he has that you don't know that he has, that you don't expect that he has, and that little layup had it. And if he can just slowly work that stuff in, I think he has a better chance of getting to what we were talking about earlier in the year than trying to do it all at once.
Yeah. Hit another 3 in the Lakers game. Very nice.
Yep.
That was a really fun Lakers game, man.
Yeah, it was great.
What a game that was.
It was
Feels
great.
like 6 weeks ago. But
Joel, 11 assists. It was fucking great.
Oh, that was cool.
A ho-hum, Maxey, 31 points.
I tweeted that his passing's gotten so good that it looked like he got bit by a radioactive Jose Calderon. And then someone sent me a video of a Spanish language NBA show where they asked CJ Calderon about the tweet and if
really?
Yeah, and if he did bite it. And I speak a little bit of Spanish, but they were talking quite fast for me and my rudimentary Spanish abilities, and they asked him about it and he was laughing. And I was like, this is great. You can tweet about Jose Calderon. Someone ask him about it. What the internet is good.
This came from Brian, writes RickySanchez@gmail.com. We all know Mike isn't putting in the effort to actually share interesting stats on a regular basis as he claimed, so I'm doing the job for him. Sixers average passes per game last season, 285. Sixers average passes per game this season, 285. Sixers assists per game last season, 25.2. Sixers assists per game this season, 25.8. I find it really interesting that Sixers lost one of the league's best passers, yet are essentially sharing the ball at the same level this year, which gets to my question. How important do you think having an elite passer is to building a championship team? It's also interesting that Daryl brought up specifically passing as a skill and the ideal missing piece should have. It seems like something a good coach with a good system can manufacture, but I can't help but think at some point in the playoffs, teams would force the Sixers into ugly iso ball mode if Embiid and Maxey continue to be the primary playmakers on the roster. It's an interesting question that, like, how good can you be where everybody is a good passer rather than having a sick passer? Mike, what's your response to that?
I would like a backup point guard.
Mm-hmm.
I think in games like this, it really shows the need for like how much they need somebody that can beat his man off the dribble. I'm getting pretty close to banging the table for Terquavion Smith to play just like 4 minutes a half, just to see, just try it out, see what he's got.
But are they okay without an elite passer? I guess you could say the Bucks won without an elite passer, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, last year, who the hell won? Oh no,
I think it's
passer the Nuggets.
I think it's more important, if just that question, just sort of like broadly, I think it's more important to have players that can force a double team, can beat their man off the dribble, create an advantage is more important than I think just being a particularly good passer. If like, you know, Ricky Rubio was on the team, they wouldn't be like in such great position. He's a good passer, but like pretty old, can't quite get by anybody anymore, whatever. It's more important to just like create an advantage in some way. And Maxey's speed, Embiid's everything, combined with his passing ability, you know, it's like I was saying how good Embiid's becoming as a passer, and people are saying like, it's Doc, it's guys who can cut more or whatever. And that's obviously part of it. Like the offense that they're running, it's not one thing. Like he didn't have this all the time. He's working through it, and he is becoming a better passer, and he is working on it. And that is in conjunction with the fact that guys are cutting and there's more movement, and that's Nick Nurse's design. I think it's very helpful to have that as well. So it's like, can you create an advantage, and can you make the sort of simple passes off of it? Like we talked to, I think it was when we talked to Dan the other day, of like Ben Simmons is a fine passer. He is a capable passer, but the thing that was helpful is that he created an advantage because he was fast and big, and the defense felt like, wrongly, they had to help off of shooters to go get him if he's driving down the middle of the floor. And so it's more important for me than having like an excellent passer than it is just having someone who can get by somebody and make the right pass.
The Rights Ricky Sanchez podcast brought to you by Big Barker Therapeutic Dog Beds. I'll tell you, I wish I had a human-sized Big Barker for the last couple of weeks, recovering from the hip surgery. I haven't been able to get comfortable in my bed. I'll tell you, I'd be comfortable in a Big Barker because it's the only dog bed engineered by experts to keep your dog's joints healthy. If I had been sleeping on a Big Barker for the last 20 years, I might not have needed the fucking hip surgery. Go to bigbarker.com/Ricky. Bigbarker.com/Ricky. You can see the Big Barker. You can see the difference in the pictures. I am telling you, you can see the difference in the pictures. What is the difference? Well, in a cheap dog bed, one of the ones that you might have for your dog right now, your dog lays on it, looks comfortable, looks puffy, whatever, sinks right to the bottom. Now, I want you to think about your mattress. Do you sink to the bottom of your mattress? Of course not. Your mattress has to be sturdy. It has to be supportive. That's the point of a mattress. Most dog beds are not real mattresses. A Big Barker dog bed is. You can see the difference in the pictures. You'll see the difference in your dog. Your dog will have more energy, more joint flexibility, less pain, more reduction in pain severity, reduction in joint stiffness, improvement in gait, all those things proven by a study at Penn Vet. It is a dog bed that is going to keep your dog healthier, happier for longer. And you as a dog owner, that's what you're supposed to do. Keep your dog healthy and happy. Go to bigbarker.com/Ricky. You go there, you get the free Process Pup patches, and you get the 10-year warranty. The foam doesn't flatten or they replace it for free. You get the 1-year at-home trial. If you don't like it, they will not only give you a full refund, they will pay for the shipping to give it back to them. It is handmade in the USA. Big Barker Dog Beds. So before we get, I have a very key Starhunting question to ask you. Mm-hmm. But I did want to update everyone on the system, as I like to do. The Clippers lost to the Nuggets, who were missing Jokic, missing Jamal Murray, missing Aaron Gordon. And also that happened this week is this James Harden defensive gem. Mike, take a look.
Big man said, no, I'm for real. Cedi Osman.
That's how you slide your feet, bud.
Was that Cedi Osman? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Watched him. And then
he is always all arms on defense. He's never, if he's getting posted up, he'll like square and he's hard to move because he's, thick, but guy never does not slide his feet.
Nope.
Not even close.
Takes too much energy. And then our very own Kevin O'Connor noted that James Harden's attempts, his restricted area attempt rate, is not just the lowest of his career, but it is stunningly low. 2 seasons ago, his first season with the Sixers, his restricted area attempt rate was 28.2% of his shots. Last season, it was 21% of his shots. And so far this season, it is 12.5% of his shots. Mm-hmm. We are sort of lucky, honestly, with how this worked out, as bad as it was. You were mentioning how good it was that he opted in, but also good that he didn't agree to some fucking 3-year, $100 million deal, which, by the way, I'm not sure. I don't have confirmation, but I'm sort of sure that Daryl would have offered him.
300, I think, is something he would have offered. I think it might have even been like higher, like 275 or something like that.
Yeah. We got lucky.
Absolutely. And he's going to have good games. And they're going to look good sometimes.
Yep.
And we're going to know that, like, this is what he's going to default to eventually.
Yeah.
I'm very happy he's not on the team.
Mike, now it's time for Star Hunter, the section of the pod where we talk about now that the Sixers have 3 first-round picks available for trade and swaps. After the season, they'll have 4. After the draft, they will have 5 that they can trade. And Daryl Morey, known for hunting for stars. The Sixers just played the Lakers on Monday night. Of course, they beat them. It was the worst loss of LeBron James's career.
I've been waiting for this.
This comes from Mike, right? It's RickySanchez@gmail.com. We can forget the overall, the way he led in with it, but just really focus on the meaningful part. Mike says, what do you think about drafting Bronny James as a way to get LeBron in the offseason? How many future assets would you have to trade to move up in the draft to get Bronny if it guaranteed getting LeBron at the mid-level exception and you can use max cap space for someone else? Mike, LeBron James has a player option for 24-25. Mm-hmm. We've been through this already. He is putting up stats. The Lakers are not winning. The Lakers will ruin any future maneuverability they have by trading for Zach LaVine, I imagine. They'll do something this year. Mm-hmm. Mike, would you want to star hunt this offseason with LeBron James?
It's interesting. The Bronny stuff I don't think is interesting.
No, especially because
I wouldn't sacrifice a franchise type thing, but...
And he's probably going to play 2 years, right?
I don't know. Depends on how quickly he heals from... He
hasn't played yet, right? I mean, I saw him doing warm-ups, but he hasn't played this year. Yeah.
No, I mean, I guess there's a chance that if he only plays like a handful of games, he might like decide to go back and actually play real college basketball.
Mike, LeBron.
I mean, it's interesting. He does not play the way the Sixers... I was thinking about him as a trade target.
Okay.
He does not play the way that the Sixers play.
No.
Not a lot of fluidity to LeBron's game at this point in his career. There's a lot of standing around.
watching LeBron is sort of like fit Harden.
Well, it's less that even. He's done a lot of deferring to the other guys out there, whether it's Austin Reeves or, Gabe Vincent when he's healthy, AD, blah, blah, blah. D'Lo. It's a lot of just standing around and like saving energy. He's obviously still very good, but he's less on ball than ever. But he is LeBron James, and he is a good passer. And when he's activated in the playoffs, he's obviously still very good. It's interesting. I don't think he's ever going to leave LA, but yes.
Okay.
It's going to cost more than a mid-level, but yes.
I think 4 years ago, or 5 years ago, whenever this was happening, I had one specific opinion that I would rather not win a championship without LeBron James than win a championship with LeBron. I hold that same opinion. Absolutely, positively not. There's nothing enjoyable about cheering for a team that has LeBron James on it. Nothing. And I'm looking at you, Lakers fans.
I disagree with that.
Well, I'm talking now.
I understand.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that I wanted to be clear that my silence was not agreeing.
First, Laker fans, I know you'll never agree to this. You'll never agree out loud. I can't believe you sold your souls for this. I can't believe it. For years and years and years, you said out loud what you really believed about LeBron is that he was a fraud and that he wasn't Kobe. He wasn't the guy. He didn't have it, blah, 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 blah. You're so desperate and sad that you sold your soul and you've lied to yourselves for several years as LeBron has been a Laker. And you've convinced yourself that the Mickey Mouse Disney tournament is a real championship where we all believe it is not. Think about the entirety of LeBron's career with the Lakers. Missed the playoffs twice, lost in the first round twice, and then was a play-in team that got swept by the Nuggets. Those are the other seasons. It's over. I'm telling you,
you're jumping ahead of you're skipping from one to the other to say a play-in team that got swept by the Nuggets.
Were they a play-in team that got swept by the Nuggets?
Yes, after beating several other teams.
Thank you.
I don't know what play-in doesn't.
Play-in team that got swept by the Nuggets. All I'm saying is this.
I would have killed for the Sixers to be a play-in team that got swept by the Nuggets.
Not with LeBron. Not if the whole thing is we're going to trade for this other no doubt top 10 player, and we're going to have a guy who's dying to be called the best player of all time. And
AD a no doubt top 10 player? No, that is not an opinion I hold.
When they traded for AD, he was a no doubt top 10 player.
I never bought it. 22?
Consensus top 10 player at the time.
Not my consensus.
CJ, look up
Not my consensus in the land of people that want to dunk. Maybe in the sick guitar riffs consensus, that community, perhaps.
All I'm saying, here is my final thing. What LeBron has done, this is his greatest achievement, is that he has figured out how to get numbers and make it look like he's better than he is. The teams that he has led for the Lakers the last several years are not good. They're not good. He is done, and he is annoying, and he is disruptive, and I don't care. I wouldn't take him for the vet minimum. No LeBron. No LeBron. No. We're going to go through this offseason, right?
I don't think that there's much chance that he ever leaves the Lakers.
Really?
Maybe a last season of his career Cleveland return type thing.
CJ says the season that they traded for AD, it was this ESPN or SI, CJ? ESPN. He was listed at number 5 in the NBA. So I've always said he's overrated, but I'm saying he's a consensus top 10. I think at the time was fair to say.
Yes, just not my consensus.
Not your consensus. So last thing on the pod, which I'll tell you, I was dreading doing this pod, but I've had a very good time doing this pod. Dan Olinger is our new writer. We have not named his column yet. He suggested, while he was on the pod, obsessive little details.
I suggested that.
Oh, you suggested that?
Well, he said it about himself,
obsessive. Right.
and I said that is a good.
Yep. We asked on Twitter, we got some emails, and CJ asked in the Spotify question of the pod. Mike, I want to read off some of these, see if you like any of them.
Let's hear it.
Emma emailed us, said, all OL in the details. Steven on Twitter wants to call it the Danny. Joe wants to call it
Explain the Danny.
So the Danny is what we would call Danny Green's one perplexing mistake per game. It is very Ricky related.
Perplexing is generous.
Joe on Twitter wants to call it the Ollie Oop, OLLIE, in honor of the one play the Sixers refused to do.
Okay, I like that a little better. Now that it's relevant, you got to relate it to me to get me there, and obviously an alley oop is something the Sixers had for a moment with Kelly Oubre and is now gone.
Tim on Twitter says, how do you pronounce it? Which is what I asked him 3 times. Mm-hmm. Will wants to call it Spike Eskin is a liar. Adam wants to call it the Victory Tour. Ryan wants to call it he really felt a 21. Anik already forgot how to shoot. And Mr. Muzz says Furkan has to be asked to be included in the trade. And then we got a bunch of suggestions for Dan's house.
Dan's house.
Yeah.
Hopefully Dan Olinger is here longer than Dan House is.
Yes.
Which will be
yes.
about another 6 months.
Any thoughts on any of those? Do we put it up for a vote? I'm fine letting you choose if you'd like to choose.
Yeah, some of them are interesting. Let me marinate on them, and I'll pick some of my favorites, and then we can put the finalists into a vote.
Okay. Finally, I'll ask the chat. I'll ask you, Mike. I'll ask CJ. I have emailed CJ the picture of my X-ray with the hip implant in it. If you would like to see it, I did edit it so you can't see my penis, which you can see in the X-ray, kind of.
How certain are you that we can't see your penis?
I'm sure. CJ, look at it real quick. Can you see my penis in it? Yeah, you cannot see the penis in it.
CJ doesn't seem confident.
Yeah.
CJ doesn't know what a penis looks like. He doesn't. He seems pretty confused.
All I'm saying, here's the only reason I would tell you to look at the X-ray. When I didn't want to look at it, I went into the doctor. He said, "Do you want to see it?" I said, "No." I did not look at it. But then in the app, the medical app, is like you have a message. I open it up and there it was. I was stunned at what this fucking implant looked like. That was the only reason. We can absolutely not show it. It was stunning to me.
I'm seeing it little. I'm going to add it to stage.
Yeah.
I'm pressing add to stage.
Okay, here it is.
So is this red box your penis? I'm pretty focused on that.
Yeah.
Okay, the red box
is the implant. The penis is the thing in my right femur.
Interesting. Yeah. I guess mine looks different.
I was stunned, first of all, at how deep it goes into my femur.
What am I looking at, I guess? Is this your bone, or is this a broken bone, or is this the new one, or what? No, this is the new.
So the one on the right that we're looking is my left hip, my untouched hip. The one on the left is my new right hip, that bright white thing.
Wow,
so
like
in there on the top is the joint, and then it goes all the way into my femur like that. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's why my fucking leg hurts so bad. Why does that not split your leg bone into like a million pieces? Is that crazy?
So it is so it's just a new bone? Is that what we're looking at?
So they chop off the top of the femur.
Synthetic?
Yeah, I think it's titanium or something. Like I will, when I go through the airport thing, I'll go off every time. I have to explain to them. So that the top, so they chop off the top of the femur. They put this thing in the femur, so it's steady, and then they put that top part, which is the actual hip joint, the ball, into the hip socket.
Intense stuff.
It's fucking wild. That's all I'm saying. So to hurt, it made me feel better to see it. Because I was like, oh, that's why it hurts. CJ, any reactions? Does it look like you thought? It looks more intense than I thought it was going to look like.
Yeah, it looks like a vibrator.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they did that.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they put a vibrator in my leg. I wonder if it's a dildo.
Could be fun.
Your hip is a dildo. That's interesting. Spike Eskin is a liar. The
Yeah.
person next to her holding up a sign, Spike Eskin's hip is a dildo.
All right. We will be back. We're going to do a rare Friday night pod after the Celtics game. I almost, if they lose, I almost want to do it on Saturday morning.
'Cause we got do you think that they kept Embiid off the game because it's like you got to be good for the Celtics game?
No.
You don't feel well.
No, I'm a little worried, not worried that he has COVID, but when people don't have COVID, they say non-COVID illness. They didn't say that about Springer, and he was off for 2 or 3 games. I'm a little worried that Embiid's not going to play Friday.
Well, if he doesn't, we can say like it doesn't matter, it doesn't count, regular season, fake,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah.
I would like Marcus Morris to not
Not
start anymore,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
We'll see.
I should say the Blouses have improved to 9-1. Regular season ends 9-1. The playoffs are next week. We are missing one of our best players, Jordan Liggins, who was on this podcast before.
Oh, yeah.
She's going to be out of town, but going to try to win another championship. So
Good luck.
we'll hear about it.
Oh, and thank you, Spotify. Everybody got their Spotify Wrapped today, and we showed up, and so many people posted that we were their number one pod, or one person had listened for 16,000 minutes this year, and I think we only did 7,000 minutes of podcasts. It's fucking terrifying. And the number of people, like we get our own wrap internally, like the number of people who had us at number one there were like thousands of people who had us as their number one most listened to podcast. And then I think there were like 11,000 or 12,000 that we were in their top 3, which is
Very nice.
fucking crazy. So thanks everyone who posted it. Means a lot. Always appreciate it.
Very nice. Do judge the other podcasts on the list.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
Just
of course.
honestly, for me, just block out. If you're going to post it, block out the other ones.
Yeah.
I don't need to see. I don't need to know.
No. Yeah, that's a good point. Just block out the other ones.
Just post
Because
us.
if we're number 3, I'm fine until I see a basketball podcast at number 1 and then a basketball podcast at number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to listen to Zach Lowe that much? Like you care about fucking, come on.
No, Zach's okay.
Not
Ryan
more than
Russillo,
Yeah.
I'm asking questions.
Yeah. Sure. All right. We'll talk to you Friday night. Are you done with TTP?
Yeah, Lick face.